Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing 7 Ages. And thanks to some comments I've realized I made a few mistakes. One was I forgot to count the yellow glory points in one turn. I think it was, or in one video, I think it was 18 or something, or 17. I corrected that, and now the yellow player is not that far behind. The second mistake, and that's a really significant one. The glory points that player gain that have this icon here on their card. So the glory points for wheat, they don't gain this if they have the most wheat, but they gain this for every wheat symbol they control. So that is a real big difference. And well, I simply made that mistake and I will not correct that now. It's basically impossible to do that. We've seen so many empires come and go, but from now on I'm going to do it that way. And that changes things quite a bit, especially an example for the Japanese. They control now 3 of these wheat symbols, so that's a big difference in that case. I wonder if there is another one, the Romans. Well, for them it would be now interesting, an example, to move to Egypt. They might do this with their ship, so that could be an option for them. But right now there is no one else there. Okay, so let's do the planning now. Okay, pink player goes first. We start with the start empire phase. And the pink player, he will start the Ethiopians. Right here in Ethiopia, they gain not much money actually, 12 bucks. That's not much. Okay. 3 times the age. They gain income per desert in production, count desert and harvest glory. They want to be big in Africa. They want to be rich. And they gain 1 glory point per trade won. Okay. No, wait a second. Not the gray player, the pink player is going to do that. Exactly. Okay, so this is the starting force of the Ethiopians. There we go. And then we're going to see the Arabs. And they start at Medina, which is right there. They don't have a leader right now. Cavalry cost 3 before age 5. Deserts count in harvest glory and earn 1 income in production. In age 3, 1 elite mark and 2 free maneuver after setup. So this is not the case now. But anyway, we can enter the game with 20 bucks, and yeah, let's see what we get for that. Okay, this is the Arabs' starting force. The Arabs have a setup of 0 setup modifier, so that means they start right away here as one of the most advanced empires, and that gives them the musketmen and the cannon, so they're definitely a powerful empire that will probably play a role during the future game. I'm pretty sure about that, actually. Okay. So that was the start empire phase. And then we'll see the production phase. And here the Armenians, they will do a production action. And well, they already have now to be afraid of the Arabs. So how much money will they get? That's 1, 2, that's 4. Then they gain 10, 12 bucks and 2 for these cities. Here we have a disorder, so that doesn't count. So overall 14 bucks, and they have to pay maintenance 5, so they gain 9. Okay, so they got 10 now, which isn't that great. But they have an administrator. That means they can place all their units in here, and they have to pay 1 less for their units, except for infantry, because the administrator is not in the capital. Okay, just a few units here for the Armenians. Oh, they don't even can afford them, I guess. That's 8. That would be 11. They only have 10. Great. Well, let's see then. Okay, I guess we're gonna buy a... Maybe I'll find another catapult. Yeah, okay, there we go. So that's exactly 10 now. I mean, he could have... Maybe that makes sense. Okay, I guess what he does is he actually plays that card here, the militia, and he doesn't have to pay maintenance that way. So that means that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional bucks, and this way he can actually buy 1 or 2 more units. Okay, well actually it's only 1 additional unit. The situation for him is a little desperate because he's technological pretty far behind. So one gotta ask himself if it makes sense to hold on to them at all. But I think for now he's gonna try that. Okay, so there we go. Okay, do we see another production action? Yes, by the French. Okay, so an interesting point is that we will see now how the other players try to help the French. So do we have an interesting card here? Not sure. Okay, so the French, they have an income, only a little income because there is disorder, but that gives them at least here $6, the city and the fertile area. They have to pay a maintenance of 1, 2, 3, I think of 6, yeah. So they don't have any income, but because of the gold mine, they have $24. Okay. But they can only place 4 units anyway, except someone has an interesting card here, but that is not the case. Nope. Okay, so we see these 4 units here. One of them goes here into Burgundy. And 3 are placed in Cisalpine. Oh boy. There we go. Okay. So, the Poles, they also do a production action. And they have Casimir, and he is an administrator. So they have an income of, let's see, that's their homeland, so that's 4. And these 2 areas, that's 10 together, and that one, that is 13. Then they have 1, 2, 2 cities, so that's 15. They gotta pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6, so they have an income of 9. Okay, there we go. Oh, by the way, the French, they haven't paid. Now let's see. They bought 3 infantry, which is 6. And a cannon. So that brings them to 9, minus 9, 24, so that's 15. So they still got a lot of money. Okay. Now, Casimir is an administrator. That would give them a -1 bonus when buying units. But because of this concentrated land ownership here, they have a +1. So in the end, this evens out then. Okay, so they buy these units here. That cost them $8. And, well, I think he tries simply to strengthen the position of the different areas here. Situation is more or less hopeless anyway, I guess. So do we see any more production? Nope. Nope. No more production here. Trade in progress. Yeah, here Benin is going to do a trade in progress action. So first they want to get out of the dark age here, and they need simply glory points. They gain glory points per progress gained during trade. So they have to trade with Zimbabwe. They could also trade with the Ethiopians now, or with the Romans, of course. But the Romans have a pretty high trade modifier. What about the Ethiopians? Where are they? I think they also have a -1. Yeah, they also have a -1. So it doesn't really matter. They're going to trade with the one who has more cards, I guess, or who has less cards, obviously. So, and that is in this case the Romans. Yeah. So, oh, wait a second. That's Benin, of course. It's a Well, you could play this one here, the Latin Americans, but then the 6 here, but then the Romans would end up with this blowback card. And that's something he doesn't want him to have, because the Romans are in the lead, so everybody is kind of against Rome. So I think a blowback card for Rome is not a great idea, because with this card you can redirect the effect of any event cards to any other empire. So I guess instead we're going to now trade with the Ethiopians here, and yeah, we throw in this 6, and the Ethiopians only have crappy cards. What is that? Industrial espionage. Play after trade cards revealed. The empire wins, doesn't progress, and the losing empire advances as far as the winner would normally have done. Well, that's kind of fun. We could do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to lose here. So but I want to give some good cards here to the French player when they are attacking Rome. So it's a little hard to decide what to do now. Okay, so I guess they're gonna take this 3. No. Damn it. I don't know what to do. Yeah, why not? They're gonna take the 3. And then we draw the cards. First for Benin. Okay, that's just a 3, so this is a 9. And then for Ethiopia, that's a 2 then, the average value. So that would be a 5, -1 modifier on both sides. So that means, as expected, Benin wins that trade. But now the Ethiopians play the industrial espionage, and that then allows them to move on, I guess, for, well, basically for 3 spaces, I think, actually. Because they are more advanced than Benin. So Benin would have been allowed to move ahead. Well, that is Benin actually. Benin would have been allowed to move ahead 3 spaces. So this is now an option for these guys. 1, 2, 3. Now let's see. Benin gains 1 per progress gained during trade. Yeah, that sucks. No progress for them. That's really bad luck. And the Ethiopians, they haven't won that trade. So overall that means no glory points for anyone due to this trade. Anybody else trading? Nope. Some maneuver actions. Okay, we start with the Aztecs. They want to spread out. They need a little more space to build their cities. So I guess they move here into the Badlands and to Saskatchewan here. Okay. There we go. And they're now again biggest. Oh, they could also move down here, I guess. Yeah, they will do this. To Yucatan. So they're definitely biggest now in the Americas. And then we're going to see the Japanese do a maneuver action. Oops. And they will now move into the sea spaces because that will give them some points. So they move into the Yellow Sea and the Sea of Japan here. And this one move into the Shetsky Rise, whatever that is, and the Japanese coast. Okay, and now they are the biggest seafaring nation, so they will now generate a lot of points. Probably the Japanese might be the most glorious nation right now. Any more maneuver actions? Yes, by the Russians. Okay. And we're going to see some conflict now. So here we are. What are they going to do? Let's see. They're going to spread out a little bit, try to capture some Polish grounds, I guess. Okay. But it's not going to be that simple. So, let's see what they're going to do. Well, the Polish are not that bad, actually, so they might move with these guys here. Oh boy. That's indeed a problem here. Holy moly. Maybe, there is another, cool, we have another knight here. I nearly missed that one. And then maybe with these guys here. Okay, yeah, I guess we're gonna go for these 2 fertile areas first here. So let's start in Hungary. Okay, so we have now here the Russians. Do they have some special modifier or something? only for defending infantry. Okay, so that means they have an 8 plus 5, so that's a 13. And the others have a 10. That's going to be pretty close, actually. So first we draw for the attacker. That's a 4. So this is a 17 then. And the defender, okay, they only have an 11. So here the Russians were lucky. There is a difference of 6. So they can even keep all the units. So yeah, they were really lucky here. And these guys are destroyed. And then we have the fight here. And okay, there we have a combat value of 15 for the Russians and a defense value of 12 for the Polish. Okay, so the Russians attack first, and that's a 20. So again, the Russians were lucky here. Oh boy. The Polish only have a 13. So again, the Russians can keep all their units. Okay, that was really a very lucky move for them. Now let's see. I'm actually thinking about thinking about playing this card here. Overrun. Play when an empire concludes a maneuver, it can immediately take another maneuver. So that's what they want to do. And that means the Poles have now a real problem, because the Russians will attack now Poland with these guys here, and the Knights, they can make it from here, from the Don Basin, right there. And yeah, that's probably then the end, more or less, of Poland. But we'll see about that. So we have here now. Okay, let's see. There is a tactician, so that means the Polish can draw 2 cards. So we got a 10 here, but that's not true, because there's a modifier for the forest of -1 for cavalry. So that's only a 9 plus 5 is 14, and they have only a 2. Oh boy. So that means yeah, well, let's simply draw the cards. First the attacker. Let's draw for the defender first, so they can decide which card they want. So that's a 0. That's definitely not the card they want. Oh, well, okay. The defender has a 9 then, the Polish, and the attacker, wow, okay. They have an 18. So that means, if I'm not mistaken, that's a 10, that's a 15, 14. Oh, that's not true. That's a 9, 14 plus 6, so that's a 20 actually. So they haven't lost any of their units. Casimir is killed. This disorder thing, of course, stays. and the capital is destroyed. And actually, after maneuver, we can remove this disorder in the forest, because we have 3 units in there. Okay, I'm pretty sure we've just seen the end of the poles. They're going to be discarded next turn. It's kind of funny, I mean, color-wise, we have a very similar situation at the beginning of the game where red was down here and green, but then it were the Celts were here in this Ukrainian area here in Eastern Europe, but the Romans remained there. Okay. So more maneuver actions. Yes, the Dutch will actually do a maneuver action. And basically what they want to do is they want to spread out here a little bit. Let me see. Well, they can, basically these guys can move here, and then they can move here to New England, for example. Okay. So that was then their maneuver action. And I wonder if they can remove the disorder marker there, but I guess this is not possible. Nope. Because there are woods here, and that means there need to be 3 units to remove the disorder. Well, actually, because there is a city there, there even had to be 4 units, and there are only 2. Okay, no more maneuver. Destiny actions. The Romans, they do a destiny action. They don't have exactly great cards, so well, I might want to hold on to that one, but I don't know. I think they're simply gonna draw 5 new cards. So that is a flood. Every land area adjacent to one river passing through target empire gets a disorder marker. Oh. That could be pretty painful for the Satavahana, an example, but we'll see about that. The Irish, well, they might show up maybe if the Roman Empire should get destroyed. The Seljuks, yeah, they could also be played, but not for long anymore. No, only in H4, and the next age will be then H3. The Gems, okay. And now they can draw a last card. The Tamils. Well, basically that means they don't have any one they can start. Well, the Habsburgs, they could start the Habsburgs actually, if they should lose the Romans, or of course if they lose the Poles, and that's going to happen, then they might think about starting the Habsburgs. That could be an option then. We see another destiny action here by the gray player, and his plan is now to wait until the game is in H5, which will happen in the next turn, or at the end of this turn, and then he's going to start the United States. That's a very, very strong empire, and so that's basically the plan here. And that means he can now discard these cards and draw a few new ones. Okay. 2. That's a good card during a combat. The route. A copper mine, that's definitely also great. And the last one here is the Vizier. Well, this guy is amazing. It allows it to simply play any time to pick up the top card on the discard pile. That can be an amazingly valuable card, actually. And then we're going to see a few civilized actions, one by the Zimbabweans. So let me check if we can play some artifacts or cards. Wow, let me see. The Flood, for example. Well, there are some interesting cards, maybe. So we got the Flood. Okay. So who is doing well? Of course, the red player himself, and then the next one would be gray. So is there anyone? What about here, the Vietnamese, an example? Ha! Yeah, that really sucks. So he's gonna play the card adjacent to one river. Yeah, we take that river here. You see it goes right through whole Southeast Asia. So that is a card that simply completely does a lot of trouble for these guys now. Okay, so that was definitely painful. The Vietnamese are Buddhist, which allows them to remove one disorder marker from each land area they control at the beginning of an action. But still, that will take a while until they recover from this. And let me see if they got... No. They don't have anything to cancel that, basically. So let's see, we have a few other things. What about this revolution thing? We have the Renaissance here. Let's check these out. Okay, and then I guess what we want to do is... I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking about... playing a revolution on Vietnam. Or here on the Satavahana. It's hard to decide, actually. Maybe it's a better idea to play it on... I don't know, actually. I mean, the Satavahana are controlled by the green player. They are pretty far behind. But they are also pretty strong. The point is, if I play a revolution on Vietnam, they would lose their religion. They would lose Buddhism, which makes it much harder for them to get rid of this disorder here. So basically that would mean that Vietnam will probably go away. And the Vietnamese are doing quite well, actually. So maybe I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do now. I think I will do this. I will play that revolution on the Vietnamese. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, there we have that revolution marker. Whatever that shows. And it says, okay, there has to be I see, there has to be a disorder marker in the area. So that means we couldn't play it on the Satavahana anyway. So we can play this on the Vietnamese. Move the target's empire progress marker back 4 progress levels. Put a disorder marker in its capital area and remove any religion artifact on its card. Reduce the cost of the Empire's infantry units by 1 and increase the cost of its naval and aircraft units by 1. Remove the revolution artifact as soon as the Empire adopts socialism, adopts any religion, or leaves its current age. And if I'm not mistaken, you cannot adapt a religion as long as you have a disorder marker. But I gotta check that. This is not correct. You can not change a religion, but if you don't have any, you can adopt one. So that means basically that's not such a great card in this case. So any target, I don't know. I think I don't play that card then. It doesn't have any effect basically. Because, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to keep that card. I'm going to play the Renaissance. The Zimbabweans, well, they can't play the Renaissance because you have to be in H4 to do this. Okay. And the Zimbabweans are in H3. So that means basically that nothing happens here with the play artifact and event cards phase, but we can promote a leader. We can control 2 leaders, so let's see if we find one. A scientist would be good. A populist is not that great. Administrator, well, usually would be great, but in this case I'm not so sure. Let's place him here in the capital. It's not bad. Okay, and then we can modernize, but that's not possible right now. And then we can urbanize, and I'm gonna promote these 2 cards, these 2 cities here in Zululand and the Cap. Okay, so that's it then. We see another civilized action from the Satavahana. So no cards are played because they only have these 2 cards, they cannot play them. But they might actually promote a leader. They can control 2 leaders as well. So that's a builder. Well, that's not so bad. Just wondering where to place him. Okay, I guess I'm gonna place the builder here. Why not? So what I can do now is I can simply build an additional city where the builder is. So I can level up this city here during the urbanized phase, and I can build another city in this other region, in the builders region. Okay, cool. So that was then basically well, wait a minute, I'm not going to do it. That's stupid. I'm not going to use these two. I'm going to level up these two cities into level 5 cities and then build another city here. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, that's basically then the civilized action of the Satavahana. And then we're going to see a civilized action of the Vietnamese, and well, they are now pretty much in trouble. So first they could play any cards. Okay, well, they actually, if they play a copper mine, that would at least allow them to gain some money, and maybe then they can recover. Yeah, they might do that. That could save the area, actually. Okay, so that's what they're going to do. They're going to play the copper mine, then play the visor, take back the copper mine and play it again. That gives them $20. It's not very much for this whole action, actually, but it's that will probably save them, because then they can pay. Okay, so then are $20. Here we go. They can try to restore order with the money, and that's at least something. Okay, and because they have Buddhism, they can actually restore order already in an area. So they're going to do this here. So overall, the effects are not that devastating as I thought first, thanks to this mine. Okay, they could play printing then. I guess that's something they want to do. Let's see what the effect is. Okay, they cannot play that simply because they have to have Renaissance first before they can play printing. But, well, yeah. Well, actually, they might... No, I think, no, you cannot play that. I'm pretty sure about that. You can't. No. You need Renaissance first. Okay. Anything else that might be interesting? Nope. Then they can promote a leader, and they can control up to 3 leaders. So we have 3 picks here. I think a populist might be useful. Strategist and tactician, we don't want that guy. I think a populist helps when removing disorder. Let's see. Explorer, no thanks. Strategist, well, not that great, but okay. Let's place him somewhere, maybe here. Yeah, why not? Because it makes no sense. So let's place him here maybe. That would at least allow us to move twice or something like that. Okay. And then we can urbanize. So I'm gonna promote this city for one level here. Okay, there we go. Finally, I can remove disorder by paying $7 per space. So I'm gonna pay 2. Sadly, I don't have 21. And I can remove 2 other disorder markers. So I'm gonna remove these. And overall, it's looking not that bad anymore. Okay. So that's the end of the civilized phase then. No empires are discarded during that turn. And, well, that's then the end of this turn. But, of course, we have to move on our progress markers. So some empires will now enter age 5, which is called Age of Discovery. We have the Yellow Empire, the Arabs, the Dutch, and the Vietnamese. And that means that the strategist will die right away. Is that the same? No, they are bright. The dark gray. Well, they are not even on the board. Yeah, no, that's... I'm pretty sure that's the same color, actually. Yeah, these are the Vietnamese. Okay, so this guy dies. And so will the artist and Rembrandt. They will both die too. But now he's got that miracle cure. The leader dies. The leader is safe from early death. If not stacked with friendly units, place the leader in any area containing. So he could play that miracle cure, and I think he's gonna do that. So Rembrandt will survive. That could be useful. Not sure if it is right now, but maybe later on. And of course, the others also did move on. And now we're gonna count our glory. The Armenians start. They gain 1 for their homeland. They are actually still in a dark age. So 1 for their homeland, nothing for Asia, and they are the second biggest Christian empire, which would give them 1 point. But it doesn't matter because, well, only 1 point for them. The Aztecs, also in a dark age, 1 point for their homeland, 1 point for the Americas. What about the cities? 6. Romans also have 6. But they are behind in turn order. The Satavahana have 11, which is just amazing. But I think they are still second when it comes to the cities. So that's another point for them. So overall, because they're in a dark age, they gain then 2 points. The Ethiopians, well, 1 point for their homeland, and this is it then. Again, not a very successful turn for the pink player. The yellow player, the Japanese, and now, yeah, that's it. They're gonna make some points now. One for their homeland, 2 for being the biggest seafaring nation. What about the money? Okay, so they are here. I wonder if that's true. No, yeah, they are together on the same space with the Romans. No, with the French. But they are ahead of the French. Or no, they are controlled by the same player. So he can decide which is the richest one, and then he will give this to the Japanese. So these are 2 more points. So these are then 5 points. And in addition, we got 3 wheat. So that means 8 points for the Japanese. So that brings them to 95. That was impressive. That's really, it really makes a big difference, this rule that you gain a glory point per wheat. I didn't know that. That would be also something that could motivate the Romans, in example, to move to Egypt and things like that. Okay, the Arabs were 1 point for controlling their homeland, and this is it then. And the French also gain a point for their homeland, and that's also then all they get. The Romans, well, they're still doing fine. Homeland number 1 in Europe, that's 4. The artist gives them an additional, so 3 points for having the most artifacts, so that gives them 7 points then. They don't control any wheat, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that means 7 points for the Romans, or for the red player. 31. The Zimbabweans, well, they are still in a dark age. So 1 point, that's 3 points, so 2 points for them. The Poles, yeah, they suck, they've lost their homeland. No points for them, but they lose 1 because they don't control their homeland anymore. So it's time for them to be discarded. Benin, well, they control their homeland, and that's it then. The Satavahana, yeah, that's 4 points for them. Biggest in the world in India and their homeland. That's 98 then. And finally we see the Russians. So that's 1 for their homeland. They are 2nd best in Europe. And that's it then. So 2 points for them. Okay. So that means now Green managed to become the 3rd player. Pink is doing really bad. Yellow is catching up. And red is still doing very well. But actually we're not done yet. I forgot the gray player, of course. So we have here the Dutch. Lots of points for them. Or at least 3 for their colonies and their homeland. Now what about the artifacts? Okay, let's see. They have 1 artifact, so that means the Romans are obviously ahead. And then we have some other empires that also control 1 artifact. And because they have an artist, it would be enough for them to be the 3rd empire with the 3rd most artifacts. But all these others are ahead in turn order, so no points for them. So that means they gain only 3 points. Okay, the Vietnamese, well, okay, they had a fallback now because of that flood, but they still control their home area, number 1 in Southeast Asia. Now, what about Asia? Okay, they control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas now in Asia. That's bigger than Armenia, but it's not bigger than Japan anymore and not bigger than the Satavahana, obviously. So that means it's only 1 point for them. So overall 3 points for the Vietnamese, which is not bad. Okay, still the red player is marching ahead, and yeah, we have to find a way to destroy Rome, and in the next turn maybe we'll see that happening. But before it comes to this, I'm gonna make a break again. I've done 10 more videos now for that game, and we made it through the Middle Ages, and sadly we've seen some turns that were not that interesting, I think. Mostly because in Europe nothing happened. That changed in the last 4 or 5 turns. But during the Middle Ages, there were only the Romans. We've seen no typical middle-aged empires appearing in Europe. So that was a little sad. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to see some really interesting conflicts now in the future. The Arabs will become Islamic, I guess, pretty soon actually, and that means if they attack a non-Islamic country and they win the attack, then they gain a glory point. So we will definitely see some war between Islam and Christianity. Africa is quite populated here. And of course, we're going to see this big conflict between French and Rome. And we will see if Rome can survive this or not. Honestly, I have my doubts, simply because everybody will basically throw in their cards if it comes to the conflict. Everybody that has a good conflict card here, and I can already tell there are some, will throw in this card for the French so that Rome gets destroyed. And then if they lose their homeland, I don't know if they will hold on to this much longer. Maybe a little, but I don't know. So I'm pretty sure we will see a new world order in the next series of videos. So hope to see you then, or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.